Bart, it is packed right now with commuters heading home from work, and many of them will hit a slowdown of sorts that they may not even notice.
Chopper 5 is live tonight over Oakland's MacArthur Station. The commute in full swing, but what you can't see is an area of BART tracks where trains have to slow down, costing commuters valuable time each day. KPIX 5's Wilson Walker went to the history books to find out what's behind BART's tight turn.
I am standing at the Lake Merritt BART station, and just over my left shoulder here, where this train is zipping off, is a critical piece of the BART system. It's called the Oakland Y. It's basically the interchange of all of the BART lines that run through the East Bay. It's notorious for tight turns, slow trains, and a number of problems over the years, even a couple of derailments. But the Oakland Y is also the source of a great BART legend that moving trains beneath the streets is so difficult in part because of a political favor done in the early 1960s. Now, I wanted to know, is that true?
Well, yeah, it's true. We've got about 5,000 people.
If anyone would know, it's Mike Healy, BART spokesman from before day one, and he says, yes, the legend of the hardware turn is true.
It's absolutely true. John Houlihan, who was the mayor of Oakland at the time, had a friend who owned a store. It was a hardware store.
So let's start with the store, the Simon Hardware Store to be precise, a 4-story shopping extravaganza that sat on the 800 block of Broadway. It had been there since its grand opening in 1937, but that prime location, Broadway between 8th and 9th Streets, put it right in the path of BART's original underground plans.
Houlihan objected to that and said that he was going to be opposed to BART coming in there at all unless they changed the design.
Most of the people who drew up the plans for BART are no longer with us, but their work certainly is, and the evidence of a change of course is right in there. The original designs show the tunnel from Lake Merritt to downtown Oakland beneath 8th Street.
Yeah, it was originally over under 8th Street, and they had to move it. And they moved it enough to make that turn a critical turn.
The 8th Street tunnel, it never happened. Instead, BART moved the entire thing 1 block over, cutting under 9th Street. And while the new sharper turn narrowly avoided that hardware, it forced trains to reduce speed when they come through here. It is something you can still feel all of these years later as you head into downtown Oakland. The train slows down, and you can hear the grind as it makes the right-hand turn.
You can hear the screech of those flanges on the wheels, scraping against the rail.
As for why Mayor Houlihan was so determined to save the hardware, maybe it was a favor to his friend, maybe he thought it important to save a major downtown business, but either way, it did not work out for anybody.
The hardware store went out of business about 6 months later. I mean, that's the history. So what are you going to do?
So there you have it. Trains that could be going closer to 30 miles per hour, often going slower than 20 to accommodate a hardware store that did not live to see BART's opening day. In Oakland, Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.
Amazing.
Yeah,
good to see Mike
great.
Healy, too. He was the voice of BART for years, for decades. Good guy.
Knows his stuff, that's for sure.